Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So, the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else. All of that being said, okay, you're like, yeah, Nikki, like I suck at sleep. Like I need to get better at sleep. I need to get out of the story, the excuses or the beliefs I'm telling myself about sleep, and I need to prioritize sleep. Because you could be doing all the other things, right? But this may be the pillar that is going to help you truly get to where you want to be along your fitness journey. Hey you guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Macro Hour with Nikkiey Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I'm your host, Nikkiey Stott, and welcome to today's episode 196. And today we're going to talk about sleep. I think, personally, that this topic is very, very often overlooked when it comes to health and fitness and you getting the results that you're seeking. I think that workouts and nutrition are essential, but what if I told you that your sleep could be the missing piece that possibly could be holding you back from you achieving fat loss, from you achieving muscle growth, and for you having optimal recovery? So today, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to explore. We're going to explore the power of sleep, how it impacts your entire journey, and how if you focus on improving your sleep quality can take you and your results to the next level. So first, I just want to kind of dive into it and talk about why sleep is so important, especially when it comes to the goals that you are striving to accomplish along your journey, whether that be fat loss, whether that be more muscle growth. Obviously, with more muscle growth, it leads to be more defined, and all the things that embody whatever your goal is. Many of you guys focus on training harder, being in the gym 6 days a week, doing X amount of strength training workouts, cardio workouts, and you're trying to eat cleaner, but what often is overlooked is the fact that sleep is what I think, in my opinion, where the real magic happens. And I say this because I'm a really good sleeper. So I can confidently get behind this topic and I can confidently share with you guys what is going on when your body is in the sleep mode, the science behind how sleep affects your fitness and fat loss goals, and so much more. Because I'm a kick-ass sleeper, and I've been told that I'm like the champion of sleep, and I can feel the effects of how it helps me in my day-to-day, but also in the overall results that I've achieved in the last 8 years. And I can't say I was always a good sleeper. I think that up until like the last 5 years, I've been really solid at it, and also because I've been tracking it consistently for the last 5 years. I wear the Oura ring. I'm showing it in video right now, but it's the ring that I've had on my finger for the last 5-6 years before this thing was even cool. This thing came out, bought it right away, and this is the one fitness accessory that I have consistently, day in, day out, went through multiple rings, multiple new charging stations, because this product has evolved over time. And this is the thing that I've consistently worn day in and day out. And prior though to tracking and paying attention to it and really understanding the science and what is happening and when we're in the state of sleep and all that jam, I wasn't a good sleeper. Not that I knew if I really like the data behind it, because I wasn't tracking it, but I know that I was constantly stressed, had tons of inflammation going on, wasn't getting the results that I wanted, was groggy the next day, and it was, I think personally, from my own journey, that it was my poor habits with nutrition that developed in me not being a good sleeper, that when I finally got a grip on my nutrition and consistently follow through with it, also with moving the body, I think that's really important too. I don't want that to like fall to the wayside, but I think it was more about, I say nutrition is king, exercise is queen in my opinion. When I focus more on the aspects of eating right, eating enough, the proper breakdown of what my body needed, that drastically helped me improve my sleep for the last like 6 years since I've been tracking it. The way I can tell the difference is I wasn't tracking it before, I'm tracking it now. If you guys are curious, it's just like the way I feel. So all in all, to say that, you know, it's not just about training harder. It's not just about eating cleaner. It's about understanding sleep and how that can be the real magic when you get enough and the right amount of sleep and what your body needs, and you're giving it, you know, X, Y, and Z in terms of getting into the REM of sleep, getting into REM sleep, getting into deep sleep, like all the stages. If you can truly understand that, and that's what I hope that I can give you in this podcast, that you will take away what you've learned in this podcast and be able to go and like implement it into your day-to-day and take sleep a little bit more seriously, especially if like, you know, you're training harder, you're in the gym, you're doing your workouts week to week, and you're eating clean, you're tracking your macros, but you're still not where you want to be with your results. This could be the missing pillar that isn't getting enough attention that it needs to in order to help facilitate your results. So let's just first talk about like what is going on in your body when you are in sleep mode. When you sleep, your body isn't just sleeping. It's not just resting. It's also recovering and repairing from the stress that you experienced in your day, from the workout that you did, from so many aspects of your day to day. When you are sleeping, you're not just resting, you're repairing, you're recovering. And here, let's talk about some ways that your sleep impacts your fitness. One is when you're sleeping, your body releases growth hormone. And this is super essential for muscle recovery and muscle development. If you're not getting enough high quality sleep, your body can't repair that muscle tissue that you broke down during your workouts as effectively as it would with good quality sleep and high quality sleep. Then your body would be able to repair that muscle tissue that you've broken down in your workouts more effectively. But since you're not getting enough high quality sleep, your body can't repair that muscle. And this can lead to slower muscle development, slower muscle growth, prolonged soreness, not recovering well enough, being inflamed the next day, and all in all of those aspects. So one way is that during sleep, if it's not good high quality sleep, you're not recovering effectively. And so your muscle growth and your muscle recovery it's stunted is the word that came to mind there. The other way is an aspect of your fat loss goals and how you want to accomplish those fat loss goals. Studies have shown that if you are sleep deprived, that negatively impacts the hormones that regulate hunger and fat storage, which is ghrelin and leptin. Maybe you guys have heard of those two hormones before, but ghrelin is the hunger hormone, which increases when you're sleep deprived, and leptin, that signals fullness, and that fullness decreases if you're being sleep deprived. So again, ghrelin, hunger hormone. So if you're sleep deprived, that's going to increase, and leptin is a hormone that signals fullness, that's going to decrease if you are sleep deprived. So that right there, in explanation, how that reflects into your day-to-day, into your reality, is if you are sleep deprived, this is leading you to overeating. This is leading you to having more cravings, and you're going to reach for the high calorie foods, which is going to make it that much harder to stay on track with your diet. So fat loss and your hormone balance is stunted. Let's just use that word. It's stunted. So muscle recovery and growth is stunted. Fat loss and hormone balance is stunted. These are the ways that if you are not getting the right high quality sleep that your body needs, this is a way that it impacts the results that you are looking for. And the last thing that I'm going to touch on here is, have you ever noticed like how your workouts suffer after a night of having bad sleep? Like you've slept poorly. That lack of sleep directly impacts your energy level. So as I was sharing at the beginning, like I felt tired, I felt sluggish because I wasn't getting good quality sleep. And overall, my performance lacked, my focus lacked, my energy levels lacked because I wasn't getting adequate rest. And that's going to prevent you, and this prevented me from being able to push harder in my workouts. And that's going to hinder your progress. Your progress is going to be stunted. So those are ways of which, if you're not getting good quality sleep, you're not going to see the fat loss that you want. You're not going to be able to recover from your workouts well enough to be able to have muscle growth and be able to, get that toned look. And you're also not going to be able to progress as much because your energy is going to be stunted. All of these aspects are stunted if you're not sleeping well. So think about this for a second. If you're not sleeping well, you're training, you're working out, you're eating, you're drinking, you're hydrating, but this aspect, and you're not where you want to be, but you are a poor sleeper. You're like, I only sleep 5 hours a night. I can't sleep any more than, I can't sleep any more than that. Or like the time doesn't allow. It does. Those are just excuses that you're telling yourself. I'm going to get into the practical tips that you can, to help you improve your quality of sleep. But I just want to put that there for a second so you can start thinking about that and be like, hey, accurately assess yourself. Those are beliefs. Those are stories. Those are excuses that you've been telling yourself. Let me dive in before I do the practical tips about how, the science behind how sleep affects your fitness levels and your fat loss. So we talked about if these aspects of results wise are being affected, but when you're sleep deprived, what is happening cellularly and scientifically inside of your body is how that's going to affect your results. So these things on the surface level, energy, performance, fat loss, results, muscle recovery, getting, building more muscle, that's the results level. But what actually is going on internally is, one, if you're sleep deprived, that increases your body's production of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. If you guys don't know what cortisol is, it is a stress hormone. And if you have elevated cortisol levels, that's going to interfere with your body's ability to repair muscle. It's going to increase fat storage, especially around your midsection, and it's going to lead to chronic inflammation. So when you have high cortisol levels, your body prioritizes survival. I need to be in survival mode, which then often means that it's holding on to fat rather than burning it. So increased cortisol levels. Another thing is, we just did an awesome community call with Dr. Cabral. He is our favorite functional medicine practitioner. We use his product on the way in for all of our new Warrior Babes in their onboarding process to take a test that goes over their stress, mood, and their metabolism so that we can take that insight and develop the best protocol for them nutritionally and fitness-wise based off of this individual's specific results. So the other day we had him on our community call, and specifically to cortisol, because cortisol is one of the levels that we test. We test your sex hormones, we test your cortisol levels, we test your vitamin D, we test your insulin, we test your thyroid. Those are some key elements of which we need to take away and be able to give you the best protocol for your nutrition and for your fitness. Cortisol, one of the tests that he read back from one of our members inside of our community, is what they call one of our babes had. You're supposed to have elevated cortisol in the morning, and it's supposed to level out and dip before you go to bed. A lot of people in our community are flipped. So they have low cortisol levels when they wake up. And this could be that you have brain fog, you have low mood, you're depressed, you have low sex drive, you have low drive in general, and you're inflamed and X, Y, and Z. So when you're waking up that way, you're waking up sluggish. And then in the afternoon, it starts to peak, and then it's staying up before you go to bed. That's what he calls tired and wired. Low in the morning in cortisol, high at night. And this can lead to you not getting enough deep sleep, not getting enough recovery, as to which everything that I'm talking about here. And when your elevated cortisol is there, one, you're not getting good sleep. So you're not going to get, the results are going to take longer for you to see because you're not getting enough sleep to repair all of the cellular processes inside of your body. But it also, if you have high cortisol levels, from what I learned from Dr. C on Tuesday, is that it also starts to shut down your thyroid. And if you shut down your thyroid, it's going to be a lot harder for you to see results, because thyroid is I believe, outside of mitochondria and your metabolism, it's another really important process in your body that's going to help facilitate results. So all in all, to say this, like, I just hope that kind of like is like, what she's saying is me. And if that's you, it's really important. It's not just like, I need to go work out and I need to go eat the right macros and I need to like stay hydrated. You also need to focus on, because probably a lot of you guys have high elevated cortisol levels at the nighttime. You need to focus on bringing that down. And how do you even know that you have high cortisol levels? You have to be tested. And what I learned is, and now I'm kind of going on a little tangent with cortisol, but the blood work panel that you may get from your doctor only gives you like the average of your cortisol level in a day. And so I asked Dr. C the other day, because we do 4 points of your cortisol throughout the day, because he does it in a saliva test. And what you gain from a saliva test results, you cannot gain from the blood work test results in terms of your cortisol. Blood work's only going to give you an average of your day. And it could tell you that you're optimal, because it's taking an average of the 4 and it's giving you that number, which could fall in the optimal range. But you need to know where your cortisol is in the morning, at lunchtime, around dinner time, and then in the evening before you go to bed. That's the 4 points of which is measured with this test. And that's going to give you the true insight of your curve. Is your curve flipped? Is it where it needs to be? And then that we're able to take in and assess of what we need to do to help support you in your journey with fitness. And it's not just about training, and it's not just about macros. It's not just about hydration. It's also this aspect of getting the cortisol levels right, so that you can fall into getting the right type of sleep, high quality, just good sleep, efficient sleep, effective sleep, so that can repair and do all the things that you want in order to get the results you want. Okay. So that cortisol, like, I could totally expand on that a little bit more. Maybe that's just an entire episode I'm going to leave this notepad right in front of me. You probably see me if you're watching on video, moving it back and forth, but that's really important. Cortisol levels and managing it. And you won't know unless you get tested, and you can't trust blood work tests. You've got to do a saliva test. And Dr. C is actually coming on. I'm retesting, which we did that. I don't even know what episode that was. He came in and he read my tests. We're doing it again. So I'm really excited to come back. I think it's been about a year since I've tested. Really excited to come back and see where my tests are at now. Ladies, are you feeling frustrated with body changes you're experiencing during menopause? It's time to take control. If you're between 45 and 65 years old and tired of struggling with body fat and muscle loss, WarriorBabe is here for you. At WarriorBabe, we've helped over 18,000 women just like you lose body fat, build toned muscle, and understand their bodies better with personalized plans based on hormone and thyroid testing and more. Imagine knowing exactly what your body needs to see real results, and results that last. Look, don't wait anymore. Take charge of your health and join our community of strong, empowered women. Visit WarriorBabe.com/apply today to start your transformation. That's WarriorBabe.com/apply. All right, let's get back to the show. Another thing in terms of science on how sleep affects your goals is how sleep has a direct effect on your metabolism. So even short-term sleep deprivation can reduce insulin sensitivity, which affects how your body processes glucose. So with that thought there, me saying that, this can lead to weight gain over time and make it harder for you to lose fat, even if your diet and workouts are on point. So if you are sleep deprived, that can still reduce insulin sensitivity, which affects how your body processes glucose. That can lead to weight gain over time and make it harder for you to lose fat, even if your workouts and your macros and your hydration, all the other aspects of fitness are on point. So sleep has a direct effect on your metabolism. And if you are sleep deprived, this all is happening internally at a cellular level. And that's going to lead to the weight gain that you may be seeing. And that can lead to it over time. And it's going to make it harder for you to get the goals that you want to. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I have touched on this one again, which is growth hormone. That's released primarily during sleep, primarily during deep sleep. So for the recommendation in which Dr. Cabral said on the call the other night, you should be getting 70 to 90 minutes of deep sleep a night and 2 hours plus of REM sleep a night. This, I don't know if I'm filming this 5 days before it's released, and I just shared on my Instagram story this morning about my Aura stats, which is the Aura ring that I mentioned earlier. And I got 2 hours and 45 minutes of deep sleep last night. 2 hours and 45 minutes of REM sleep last night. And I got an hour and 55 minutes of deep sleep last night. That's why I like to say that I'm a sleep champion, okay? Take it from me. All of this stuff is actually really important to understand because I feel the positive effects from it afterwards. My cortisol level slightly, from the last time that we retested this, slightly increased at the it wasn't like I was high. I was coming back up, and Dr. C was like, I don't want to see that. I want you to keep going down. So small little tweaks to that, but I'll talk about that a little bit more when I have some takeaways for you guys. But if you're back to the deep sleep, your growth hormone is primarily released in deep sleep, and that's a key player in muscle recovery and also fat burning. So if you have inadequate sleep, that means that you have less growth hormone production, which can slow down muscle repair and impact fat metabolism. Okay, so that's a little bit more of the science things. Cortisol, which is really important, how your metabolic metabolism is affected with glucose and insulin sensitivity, it being reduced, and that over time gaining more weight. Even if things are on point, your metabolism is still being affected if you are having poor sleep. And having the growth hormone production, that already decreases as you age. So making sure that you have more of that and you can gain more of that when you're in deep sleep, that's really important in terms of being able to repair your muscle and have and be able to burn the fat that you want to on your body. So all of that being said, okay, you're yeah, Nikki, I suck at sleep. I need to get better at sleep. I need to get out of the story, the excuses or the beliefs I'm telling myself about sleep. And I need to prioritize sleep because you could be doing all the other things, right? But this may be the pillar that is going to help you truly get to where you want to be along your fitness journey. I want to give you guys some practical tips to be able to take away. Number one was what Dr. Cabral shared in our community call the other night, which was what he calls the 3-2-1 method. So 3 hours before bed, he says, stop eating. If your cortisol levels, if you are that tired and wired, so if you have results back that you feel you're down, the curve comes later on, you wake up and the cortisol levels are low, and then you spike midday and then you're elevated at night, you're tired and wired. So you're low in the AM, you're high at night in cortisol. So he recommended the 3-2-1 method. 3 hours before bed, stop eating. 2 hours before bed, no liquids. 1 hour before bed, no blue lights, meaning don't look at the TV, don't look at your computer. If you have blue light blockers, put them on. Don't look at your phone. Don't doom scroll while you're in bed before you're about to fall asleep. That is going to seriously impact your sleep. All of the things, anything blue light wise, staring at the computer, staring at the TV, watching Netflix, staring at your phone, scrolling on your phone in bed. I would just ask you that you remove. That's the one thing I do every single night. My phone is nowhere even near me in my room. Even just the whatever it's called, the rays that are emitted from the phone can affect your sleep. It's in the other room on the charger for me. So just the 3-2-1. That would be what I would say overall practical tips for you to take away. Most importantly, if you are tired and wired, you have low cortisol in the morning and you're high at night and you're elevated at night. Another one is a consistent sleep schedule. I cannot stress this enough. And this is really hard, but you have to really police yourself in doing this, is going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. And that's going to help to regulate your body's internal clock, making it easier for you to fall asleep and to wake up more naturally. So when you have a consistent sleep schedule, and I think this is so important, second to the 3-2-1, but even if you're not tired and wired and you're someone that has normal cortisol curve, still doing this is really important because it enhances your quality of sleep and it makes sure that you're spending more time in deep sleep and in REM sleep in those restorative stages if you have a consistent sleep schedule. Another one is optimizing your sleep environment. Like for me, my bedroom is my sanctuary. My bed is probably one of the expensive items that I've invested in because I know how important sleep is. I have the Sleep Number bed. Forget what level I'm at. I might be at a 10. Sleep number 10. I can't remember 100%. But you can move and adjust your firmness so that it's exactly how you specifically need to sleep, which they do that in store at Sleep Number, which is incredible. Then I have the 8 Sleep sheet on top of it. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of 8 Sleep, but I highly recommend it because this one, you can do cooling temperatures for my menopause babes. This one will really help you because I know you have some night sweats in the middle of the night, but you can have the ability to make your bed really cold before you go to bed. It's cold when you get in it, and then you can play around with temperatures at different stages of the night, or you can even put it on autopilot. So it will autopilot, I think, to the temperature outside, and then it'll regulate to the bed. Or like if you want to if you know you sleep better when you're cold, and that helps you get into different stages of sleep, you could adjust the temperature to that. And then also you can wake up and it could be nice. And this might be really hard for some people, but it can be nice and warm, and you can put the bed to warm. Or if you like sleeping warm, you can put the bed to warm. I think it's just a dope product. So that's 8 Sleep. And then, and I'm now thinking about this, I want to get in touch with those guys because I firmly believe in that product. And then on top of the 8 Sleep sheet is a grounding mat. So the grounding mat, if you know your outlets, the top outlet or the one singular outlet that grounds down to the ground. So the sheet, you plug into that, and then it's supposed to help ground you while you're sleeping. I'm telling you, my bed is my sanctuary. My room is my sanctuary. My bed is probably one of the most important things, the highly invested products that I have in my whole space. Then for me specifically, like I keep my room very cool. I keep it very dark, and I keep it very quiet. So I've, what are those called? Those curtains that block out the light. I have those. And then I do my best to keep it either as quiet as I can, even though I'm on like somewhat of a major highway. So I have an air filter in my room that does like the white noise. So that's also something that can help, but just optimizing your sleep routine, because limiting light exposure, especially like blue light, I don't have a TV in my room, and my phone's in the room, but limiting that's key to promoting melatonin production, which is a hormone that helps you to fall asleep. And what's really cool about the Oura Ring too, as well, is that will show you latency. So how long it takes you to fall asleep, to let you know if it's effective, of which you are, the overall efficiency of your sleep. That little tool, or that little measurement matters. Other things, limiting caffeine intake, limiting alcohol intake. I think that's a given. That disrupts your sleep cycle. It reduces the amount of deep sleep that you get, both alcohol and caffeine. So I would just say try to avoid that altogether. Or if you can't avoid it altogether, try and avoid it close to bedtime. And then in terms of workouts, guys, it totally depends on where your cortisol is. From what I learned from Dr. Cabral, it totally depends on like if you're tired and wired, how maybe some exercise in the evening could actually help you, depending on if you work out in the morning. So like workout in the morning and the evening, it's dependent on the individual. And that's what I've said through and through for the last 8 years. It totally depends on the individual. Sometimes that can help your sleep. If you do a morning or an afternoon exercise, that can help regulate your sleep. But intense workouts right before bed, that may give the opposite effect. But it depends. It totally depends on you as an individual, where you're at in terms of the results you have from, internally understanding your body a little bit more. So all in all, to say this to you guys, I think it's really important. Like I said, sleep gets overlooked in this industry, and it's not talked about enough, because you could be training really hard. You could be working out 5-6 days a week. You could be doing all your cardio. You could be going to your classes. You could be, thinking you're stretching and recovering and eating clean. But sleep is where the real magic happens. Your body does so many amazing internal things to help with muscle recovery, to help with growth, to help with fat loss, to balance out your hormones, to give you energy, to help you perform, to help your progress. It is so important. It has a direct tie to your metabolism. It has a direct tie to a lot of what you're seeking for on the physical aspect of your results. But internally, a lot of things have to be balanced out and have to be paid attention to and have to be put into a routine and have to be made aware of. All of those things are really important to you getting good quality, high quality sleep so that it can help you get to the results that you want to. One last thing I'm going to say, consider using a sleep tracker to monitor your sleep patterns, to know how long you are in deep or in REM, or how long it's taking you to fall asleep, or how much you're awake in the night, how much you're actually asleep. It can give you so many incredible insights to how much your sleep you're getting and how you can identify areas of improvement. So it's incredible when you do have a drink of alcohol, where your heart rate is and where your HRV is. And those are some other aspects of what you can track. But your heart rate is surely going to be elevated and your HRV is surely going to be tanked after alcohol. And I know that because I've seen it on my tracker. I've seen it on clients' trackers. The deep sleep, REM sleep, it's all going to be shot to hell. So I think it's just really important to track it, to have the data, to understand it, prioritize it, make it a part of your routine, and then listen to your body. Pay attention to how you feel after a good workout or after a good night's sleep and versus a poor night's sleep. Notice the difference in your workouts, notice the difference in your energy levels, notice the difference in your hunger cues. When you see how much better you perform with getting enough sleep, it becomes easier to prioritize sleep as a key component of your journey. Okay, so sleep isn't just I'm going to sleep. It's not a luxury. It's not I'm just resting. So many things are happening internally. And it's so necessary for any one of you guys that's looking to optimize your fitness goals, optimize your muscle growth, optimize fat loss. Making sleep a priority and following the tips that I just touched on here, you'll not only feel better, but you're also going to see faster, more sustainable progress along your journey. So please do not take sleep for granted. Please don't think that you have to sleep faster and you can only sleep 5 hours or whatever excuses, stories, beliefs you've been telling yourself. If you truly are somebody who's dedicated to your fitness journey and you're doing the work and you're putting in the work with the fitness or the workouts and the macros and hydration, all the things, but you're not where you want to be, I guarantee if you take an accurate look at at how you sleep and where sleep falls on a priority meter for you, and if it's on the lower end and you're not getting good sleep, this could be the game changer for you to put some things into place to prioritize this aspect of your journey and to make it better. And I can even argue that don't train as much during the week or focus the emphasis entirely on macros and making those the sole focus for a week or two. Focus on sleep. Because I think it's important to focus on the one thing that you're not doing good at and make that better. So you probably already have all the other aspects of your journey nailed down pat. Now make this a priority. And some of the other ones may fall to the wayside just a little bit. But if you focus on making this one better, then you'll have everything that you need in alignment. Training, macros, hydration, sleep, and all the other things that fall into making up a well-rounded fitness journey, a lifestyle. All right, guys, I hope that you found this valuable. I hope it was informative. I hope you take away some of these tips, especially if some of the things I said resonated with you, and you make your sleep better. Go make your sleep better. All right, I'll see you in the next podcast. Peace out. Hey, guys, real quick. If you're interested in taking your body to the next level, lose body fat, build more muscle, feel more confident, Do it alongside one of our 30 plus professional coaches. Work one-on-one with her to eliminate all of the guesswork that you may have. And all you need to do is just do the work that she tells you to do to get to those goals of yours. Now, to learn more, click the link below this podcast and apply to our VIP program right now.